Welcome to another episode of Catholic Culture and Faith. Today we're going to be discussing how to love our neighbor. This is the first part of the series on how to love your neighbor, so please stay tuned and enjoy. We are always told that we are to love our neighbor, but the question that many people ask is, how? Well, that question isn't as simple as just do this, but it's about following many teachings from Scripture and the Catechism. To actually love our neighbors, we have to look at how we think, how we react to others, and how we react to certain situations. As people, we react to situations with emotion and in a predetermined way of doing things from past experiences and how we're taught to do things, and not always in a loving manner or even in a logical way. These are not always the best way of doing things, but we do them without thinking, and we just react most of the time. Loving our neighbor takes small steps each day to move towards what Jesus wants us to act like. I am now going to read you Luke chapter 6, verse 27 to 28. The first step to loving your neighbor is attitude. The definition of attitude is, it is a settled way of thinking or feeling about someone or something, typically that is reflected in a person's behavior. Well, what are the first steps to becoming a good neighbor? It all comes down to attitude, to start off with. If we have poor attitudes or overly emotional or reactionary, things can get out of control quite quickly. How can you actually be good to people when you're not in control anymore? Let's look at an approach that works for me that I was taught by a priest. The method that I was taught is called focusing on heaven. It means to be settled or calm or mellow in our approaches to everyone we encounter. Stay calm and have tranquility in all you do. I'm not saying that you have to be calm in every circumstances, but for the majority of your time you should try and to be an uplifted attitude with a positive thought pattern and embracing the 7 virtues: humility, charity, patience, chastity, temperance, kindness, and diligence. So now we have a basic understanding of the type of attitude we should have when we interact with people. Why is it so important to have this type of attitude? It's simple, because you are not negatively affected by people, nor are you influenced by what they say or do. I'm not saying that we shouldn't have any emotion or react to certain situations, but I am expressing is that we should live with tranquility and follow the 10 Commandments, and to love a God above all things for His own sake, and our neighbor as ourselves for the love of God. I thought I would touch on why it's important to have a positive mindset and a positive outlook on life. The importance of a positive mindset is that you will succeed in doing more good things and helping people if you have a positive mindset. For example, if all you see is negative events happening in the world, if all you see is the negative events happening in the world around you, maybe it's time you changed your mindset. Maybe you need to start looking for the good in more situations you encounter. See the helpers in life and throughout the world. There will always be negative, but it's how you react to the situations that you can rise above and love the people of this world. When you start to make small steps in changing the way you think and how you respond to life, life will become happier, more productive, but you have to make the time to change and recognize that there might need to be change. And recognize that there might be a need to change. Let's look at it this way. If you're focused only on the negative on everything you do, and are focused more on the 7 deadly sins, pride, greed, wrath, lust, gluttony, envy, and sloth, how do you truly love your neighbor if you're preoccupied with being focused on things of this world, and by focusing on yourself instead of focusing on love and doing good to your neighbor as commanded? Now please listen to 1 Peter chapter 2, 8 to 12. To conclude, you must all have the same attitude and the same feelings. Love one another and be kind and humble with one another. Do not pay back evil with evil or cursing with cursing. Instead, pay back with blessings, because a blessing is what God promised to give you when He called you. Like you have heard throughout this episode, loving your neighbor is all about attitude and how you perceive things in life, how you react to situations. When you sit down and think about how to deal with situations in life, and ponder, do I react to the people around me or in the world with love, compassion, patience, or do I do the opposite? Take the time and evaluate how you react with people you encounter and see who you truly are. In the up and coming episodes, we will be continuing on part 2 of how to love our neighbors with compassion and patience. And we will be continuing on part 3 on how to love our neighbor, which is all about judgments of our neighbors and why we need to change our way of thinking to educate future generations. Please also stay tuned for our future episode on how to focus on heaven. From all of us here at Catholic Culture and Faith, stay strong, stay faithful, stay united. Loving our neighbor is a way of life.